just want to ask finally on the issue of cost. And so, Barry, let me go first to you, and then I'll also let Jeff finish up here in the few seconds that we have. Talk to me just about the cost of death penalty versus the clear alternative, which is life in prison without parole.
Right. Well, California is a perfect example because it costs something like an extra $100,000 to keep somebody on death row in California than it would in general population. And it's just extraordinary that in that state, it is estimated conservatively that they would save over the next 5 years $1 billion, which includes an extra $400 million to build a new death row. So it's extraordinarily costly. And don't forget the opportunity cost, because you could take that money and you could put it into effective law enforcement. And I have to take issue a little bit with Derek, because the very reason that the National Research Council reviewed all the evidence about deterrence is that there were these conflicting studies, and they concluded that there's no persuasive evidence for deterrence. So if it's costly and it doesn't deter, it's just not good public policy.
All right, Barry, I am going to give Jeff the last word on this one.
I guess I would say, you know, in 2 seconds, what price tag do you put on justice? If you believe, as I believe, as a majority of Americans believe, that having a death penalty available as an option for the jury, not as a mandatory punishment in every single case, but that having it available as an option is essential to doing justice when a murder has been committed, what's the price tag that you put on it? California has 700 people on death row. It's only executed 13. It wouldn't cost so much if there weren't the kind of super due process that we make available in cases of death penalty.
Yeah, I do appreciate the arguments. I am fundamentally ethically opposed to the death penalty because it feels to me unjust. Even if it were fair, fairly proportioned, it still feels to me like the state should not take a life. The final thing I'll say on this is, of course, many of us were watching the Troy Davis execution very carefully. On that same night, Lawrence Brewer was executed for the death of James Byrd. And I just want to mention that James Byrd's family, his only son Ross, campaigned against the execution of Brewer and told Reuters that you can't fight murder with murder. Life in prison would have been fine with us. And we know, of course, the horror of the death of James Byrd. I was profoundly moved that his son Ross had that position. But I think everyone, this is an extremely complicated question. Thank you to Barry Scheck, Vera Thomas. Thank you for being here today. Jeff, Jacoby. Oh, I keep butchering it. Anthea is going to stick around. Coming up next, I'm going to take you home to Virginia, my original state, which could be getting a lot of visitors in the very near future. The 2012 election could come down.